This guy decided to shave his head completely bald, but after rubbing his smooth scalp, he wasn't feeling it. So the next day, he rocked a crazy, flamboyant punk hairstyle instead. Why? Because his time is completely trapped in this single day. He can do absolutely anything he wants, but the moment the clock strikes midnight, everything resets. He even tried jumping off a building to end this madness, but the very next morning, he woke up in his bed completely unharmed. Life has completely lost all meaning to him. His biggest daily entertainment now is doing random things like pulling pranks on strangers or buying random lottery tickets that always hit the massive jackpot. He goes to the pool, perfectly timing it to save a girl from getting knocked into the water by a stray ball, but their relationship never progresses. Still, Jack firmly believes that sooner or later, a statistical anomaly will bring them together. One day, Jack arrives at the pool right on schedule, but just as he's about to step in and save the girl, a curly-haired girl suddenly swoops in, catches the ball, and completely breaks his script. Jack watches in utter shock as Annie walks away. Instead of being angry that his perfect routine was ruined, Jack is instantly captivated by her. After that, Jack spends all his days staking out the pool, completely ignoring the other girl falling into the water. But days pass, and Annie is nowhere to be found. Just as he's about to give up hope, Annie suddenly appears out of nowhere, standing quietly behind him. Realizing she's there, Jack quickly follows her. Desperate for a conversation starter, he completely loses his filter and blurts out that he's trapped in a time loop. To his absolute amazement, Annie doesn't think he's crazy at all. It turns out, she's trapped in the exact same day. Holding back his sheer excitement, Jack curiously asks Annie how she passes the endless time, but her answer catches him completely off guard. She's been using the loop to relentlessly practice her driving test, and to prove it, she immediately takes the wheel and shows off some seriously impressive stunt driving. As the two of them gradually get to know each other, Jack decides to show Annie all the funny loop moments he has discovered. He takes her to see a dog snatching a stranger's phone and a man hilariously tripping over his own pants. While these pranks are funny, Annie finds them a bit childish. To show him a different perspective, she leads Jack through the woods to the edge of a serene lake. Together, they watch a majestic eagle swoop down, grab a fish from the water, and soar away. Jack is completely amazed. He wonders how Annie manages to capture such breathtaking, fleeting moments in a single day. As it turns out, even though Annie is trapped in the exact same loop, she spends her time doing good deeds. Her daily mission is searching for a lost dog. She hasn't found it yet, but the search has led her to discover countless beautiful moments across town. Next, they hit up a local diner and order every single flavor of ice cream on the menu. They dive in without a single care in the world. After all, in a time loop, you never have to worry about gaining weight. While chatting, Jack proposes a new project to pass the time, mapping out every single beautiful moment and hidden gem in the entire town. They head to an ATM, pull out a massive stack of cash, and secretly hide the bills in random corners of a supermarket, leaving lucky shoppers absolutely ecstatic. They document drivers stopping to let a tiny turtle cross the street, and even drive a steamroller around just to find the town's perfect moments. They visit a nursing home to experience the peaceful, slow-paced life of the elderly, and lounge by the lake watching fallen leaves drift away on the current. While watching a local sanitation worker passionately practice for his dream, Jack turns to Annie and asks, "What's your dream?" Annie confesses she always wanted to be an astronaut. Hearing this, Jack sneaks her into a high-tech aerospace simulation center, successfully helping her touch her dream. They keep doing one wild, beautiful thing after another, until Jack brings her back to his place, where they joyfully share some drinks. While looking around his room, Annie accidentally discovers the detailed map Jack drew of all the beautiful things in town. She is deeply touched by his sensitive, caring nature. But just as the romance heats up and they lean in close, Annie suddenly pulls back in fear. Jack finds this incredibly frustrating. He assumes she is holding back because their relationship can never truly progress in a resetting loop. The next morning, Jack tracks down a professor to ask how to break the time loop. The professor suggests that if they can travel far enough away from the town, they might just escape the gravitational pull of the time vortex. Jack eagerly rushes to share the news with Annie, but to his shock, she flatly refuses. She argues that leaving the loop means facing real-world miseries. Mortgages, car loans, sickness, and aging. She admits she has no desire to grow old and end up dragging around a broken 80-year-old body.
You don't actually think that this is living, do you? We're stealing people's lives? My dad is never gonna finish his stupid Civil War novel. Henry is never gonna finish War Fight, and my sister loses her soccer game 3-0.
Moved by Jack's words, Annie changes her mind. The very next day, the two of them head straight to the airport, determined to travel far away and finally break free from this relentless time loop. Jack puts on his sleep mask, getting ready for takeoff. But as he tries talking to Annie, he notices nobody is responding next to him. He pulls off his mask only to find her seat completely empty. Seconds later, his phone buzzes with an apology text from Annie. Jack jumps up frantically to go look for her, but it's too late. The plane has already taken off. Left with no choice, Jack flies out of the town alone. But just as the plane is about to cross the international date line, Jack snaps awake in his own bed yet again. However, today feels a little different than usual. He notices his sister isn't screaming her head off at him like she always does. and his dad's novel actually seems to be making some real progress. Jack decides to clear his mind and go watch his sister's soccer match. To his surprise, the game his sister was supposed to lose ends in an unexpected victory. He finally realizes that even inside a repeating loop, life doesn't have to remain completely stagnant. After that, Jack gives away his $5 million jackpot lottery ticket to a random stranger on the street. He helps a little kid save a cat trapped high up in a tree, and stops to loudly applaud the sanitation worker playing his piano. Though his time loop is still going on, Jack has slowly transformed from a mere bystander of life into an active participant. He even musters up the courage to try skateboarding, something he always loved but was too afraid to do, though the result turns out to be pretty painful. Jack goes to the hospital to get his injuries treated, and while there, he catches sight of Annie walking down the hall. He quietly follows her, only to discover a heartbreaking truth. Annie's mother is suffering from a critical terminal illness. In that exact moment, Jack finally understands everything. The only reason Annie wanted to stay buried in this single day forever is because this is the very last day of her mother's life. Sitting by the hospital bed, the mother quickly notices that Annie has something heavy on her mind. Annie openly confesses to her mother that she's thinking about a boy, but admits she completely messed things up between them. Hearing this, her mother looks at her gently and says, in that touching moment, Annie finally begins to find peace, deeply understanding her mother's love and wishes. Following Jack's footsteps, she starts dedicatedly documenting all the beautiful, fleeting things around her. She realizes that the absolute key to breaking this endless time loop lies within the detailed map of hidden gems that Jack drew. However, there is still one final crucial spot on that map that she hasn't been able to find yet. On this day, Annie heads to the local pool where they first met, and Jack shows up there too. Annie eagerly tells him she found the key to breaking the time loop, but to her surprise, Jack, who had spent forever trying to escape, flatly refuses. He doesn't want to break the loop anymore if it means making Annie lose the person she loves most in the world. He understands that for someone on the verge of losing a parent, having this eternal last day together is incredibly precious. Annie comforts him, confessing that the time loop was actually a desperate wish she made for her mother. She admits she never understood why Jack got pulled into her loop too. Perhaps it was fate's way of ensuring that when the painful parting finally came, she wouldn't have to face her deepest grief all alone. With those heartfelt words, the last walls between them completely crumble, and they passionately lean into a deep kiss. Shortly after, Annie's mother peacefully passes away. That very night, the heavy curse lifts, and they successfully break free from the time loop together. As it turns out, being trapped in that endless day wasn't meant to save the entire world. It was simply meant to bring the two of them together. Watching the conclusion of this beautiful movie brings a powerful question to mind. Are we truly living 365 unique days a year, or are we just living one single day over and over again, 365 times? Ultimately, the film leaves us with a profound message. As long as we actively search for the small, hidden beauties in our daily lives, we hold the power to break the monotonous loop of our own existence.